listening to the Medic Materials Podcast, hosted by Mike Turek, Emily Yates, Kelsey Coons, and Gerard Cuomo. All are current EMS providers and educators with a combined 30 years experience. Each month, we discuss EMS news, medical science, and review actual EMS calls, bringing many educational opportunities to the listener. Portions of the calls have been altered to protect the privacy and identity of all involved.
Hello and welcome everyone back to the Medic Materials Podcast. It is our official first episode of the brand new year. So, guys, welcome to 2023. A few weeks, a few days late, but whatever. It doesn't matter. One of the things that I think everyone would notice is I did not change the theme song for this year because I really, really like that one. So I said, fuck it. And kept it. So
it works.
Yeah, I think it does work.
What we really need to do is change that intro, though.
Yes, eventually.
That intro's stale. It's horrible.
You
wish.
What we need is a female voice on there.
Right.
A calming, welcoming, caring female
There's
voice.
a lot of things that were used to describe me. Calming and welcoming is not one. Or two.
I said caring.
Sure. I got a compassionate award in school.
There
you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Picture that.
But yeah, no, I felt like it fit. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to steal the Mahabuchi's intro because that's the one that I really wanted, and I was like, I can't steal it. It's taken. But yeah, it is on my to-do list to get both the outro and the intro by you and Kelsey redone. So I got to give you guys new scripts and let you guys, re-record them. I
go for the whole female voice. I think that would be perfect.
I mean, if we asked, I doubt Emily will do it because,
Nope.
it was a debacle the last time that we tried.
Because it went so spectacularly well.
You never know. It could be like the best one ever this time.
Yeah, you wish.
What would be great is if we could go back and find that recording.
Oh,
it's got to be saved somewhere.
I'm sure it's on my hard drive somewhere.
Podcast. You listen to the Medical Materials Podcast.
Instantaneously. Never has done like you talking. You talking. We'll sit there and be like, "What podcast are we recording today?" Whatever. Like perfect.
It just came out.
Perfect English. Flip on the big red button. Podcast.
Suddenly, also put a microphone in front of her. She's from Southie.
Pretty much.
Oh, it was great. But
I'm gonna listen to the podcast as I drive the car into the mosh.
Oh boy. So Kelsey is not with us today. I apologize to everybody for allowing her to ride with me and become a paramedic because that was the downfall to her schedule. She used to be free. Now she's not. So I'll take full responsibility on that one, but hopefully she'll be here for the next episode. Especially since she's got quite a large announcement to make fairly soon. Gerard, you and I started talking about it on the new episode, the last new episode on Patreon the other day. And,
she has an announcement?
What was that?
She has an announcement to make?
Well, I'm going to give her our announcement to make.
Oh, okay, I got you.
At least on the podcast. She's gonna, she's gonna make that.
I thought maybe she met the nerd in the computer lab. I'm like, all right. Cool.
No. Well, I mean, if she did, she, is refusing to tell us.
Right.
As you go back in the episodes, she does say that she's scared of bringing a boy home to us more so than her dad. So, I'm sure that she would, not do that.
I give you Mr. and Mrs. Kelsey Gates.
But yeah, so with with that being said, there is a for the audience that doesn't listen to the Patreons, there is a
cheap bastards.
Yeah, right. There is a major announcement that the Medic Materials brand is going to be making near or around February 1st. So make sure that you are, following the podcast, following all the socials, and, you will see it fairly soon. It's only, like 2 weeks away. So it's gonna rock at least New York State. It's gonna rock their ability to do certain things. The rest of the country, not so much, but it'll still be really cool if people want to partake in it. So I'm excited, and I'll be looking forward to doing a whole bunch of work in the next 2 weeks to make sure this goes, swimmingly. But I wanted to start the new year off with a bang. So one of the things that this is a crazy thing. We started the podcast in September of 2020. It's now 2023. So we haven't hit our full 3-year mark yet, but we're in our 3rd year or close to it, which is kind of insane. But up until like a month ago, we had never done EMS news. Well, even though, we say, oh yeah, we do EMS news. However, now we are almost doing back-to-back episodes of EMS news.
Not too bad.
And this one, I think, is even more crazy than the previous one. So have you guys seen and or heard of the 2 EMTs that killed the dude out in Illinois?
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly? Yeah. Air
it's like the ostrich.
You could watch the video.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're going to listen to parts of the video.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Right. Everyone in America is, innocent until proven guilty. Sure.
Or maybe they're Letterkenny fans like me and would get that joke, but okay.
I am not a Letterkenny fan, so.
I'm not either, but I still got the joke.
Oh, see? I didn't. Went right over my head.
All right, pitter patter, let's get at her.
So this is actually, a recent development. Let's see, their date of arrest was January 9th. So this only happened like 4 or 5 days ago. And the comments are crazy. I watched this video, which, is, in Gems. It's in the article. But
still ain't seen it.
Oh yeah.
I refuse to watch it because,
okay.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into it, but I refuse to watch it.
So I've never felt uncomfortable watching a video until this one. So like, as an EMT, as an EMS professional, as like an instructor, this is really hard to watch, like extremely hard to watch. And it makes it.
Oh, now you got me curious.
Yeah,
I know. Now I want to pull it up.
You totally have to. It's long. It's like, I think 16 minutes long from the time that the cops actually get there and stuff. But if you don't know what we're talking about, Gems came out with an article, murder charges filed against 2 Illinois EMS providers. It goes on to say 2 Lifestar Ambulance EMS providers were charged Tuesday after authorities in Illinois said the 2 were responsible for a patient suffocating. I'm going to butcher this, so I apologize for any Illinois residents, but Sangamon County State Attorney Dan Wright announced the charges in connection with the December death of Earl Moore Jr., 35 of Springfield. The EMS providers, Peter Cadigan and Peggy Finley were arrested Monday and taken to the county jail. They could each face 20 to 60 years in prison if convicted. And honestly, not saying that, seeing the video and watching how they provided care via the, I'm assuming the sheriff's department body cams, I hope that they get everything that's coming to them.
I can't find it.
Hold on. I'm.
Are you on Gems?
No, I'm on the fucking YouTubes, and all I see is the filtered versions.
Yeah, it's not on. Hold on. I'm gonna send you the link right now.
Send it in the group so I can get it.
I'm gonna send it to the Discord.
We froze.
Nobody froze.
Oh, we did. I heard no sound for like 30 seconds.
Oh,
That's just because we were all quiet.
yeah.
No, I was saying stuff and nobody was saying anything.
How the hell do I send stuff in Discord after the pop out?
Just
I'll do it this way.
Don't know.
I got it. I got it here.
You can send a DM.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sending each one to you right now. Boom. Okay.
It was very John Madden of you.
You like that, right?
I did.
Okay, so now you guys should have the link in your Discord.
Oh, of course. I had to go to FaceSpace.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, you do.
Oh, now it says I'm going to a link outside FaceSpace. All right.
Yeah, it's the YouTube link.
Oh,
It's an
I've been intercepted by the Chinese. That's it. I'm done.
Oh,
all right, here we go.
So more or less, like I said, I'm gonna kind of break down the video as we go here. But continue reading the article here. It's a very short article. Cadigan and Finley were called to Moore's home on December 18th. Moore, who police said was possibly having hallucinations, was taken to the hospital and later pronounced dead. After an investigation, it was determined Moore was placed face down on a stretcher and restrained across the back and lower body. The coroner's report determined Moore died of compression and positional asphyxia. And then they go, of course, they have to bring in the it's two white people attacking black people.
Of course.
Bullshit on here. But honestly, what they did was wrong from any standpoint whatsoever.
Well, I'm watching them putting them on the stretcher now. You literally have to like fast forward all the way through to like 22 minutes and 52 seconds just to get to it.
Right. But here's the crazy part. Okay, I want to go through from the start to the finish. So the finish is the major problem, right? They plopped him on the stretcher.
Why didn't they just flip him right there?
I know. It's bonkers, right? However, let's start here in the beginning because I think
So I'm watching them make the burrito out of him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean I'm kind of giving it like a play-by-play as I'm watching it. So they're making him into the burrito. And he has one arm down, one arm up, like Superman, like we would do for any other psych that we were going to chain to, we're going to secure to the cot.
Right.
Wow, that was fucked. I'm looking at the guy's cuffs, but anyway. So, I mean, his arms, from what I see right now, aren't behind his back. Do they end up going behind his back?
No.
Okay.
No, his one arm goes underneath his face. Underneath his face. The other arm goes down by his side, and they strap the chest strap and the hip strap over his spine, and then cinch it down. You watch the one guy cinch it onto his spine. So there was no way he was getting upright. Like, he couldn't roll over at all. But here's what's even more wild about this whole thing and why I bring it up. Because, yes, they put him in the wrong position, right? yes, they did a lot of bad things in decision making, but I think it goes into a lot of things about what we talk about on this show over the course of our existence, is that these guys are the quintessential, examples of burnout and just people that should not be doing this job anymore. Right. And I think that as we go through a little bit of the video, you guys will see that. So I'm going to start playing it here. And then we'll pause here and there. So the cops arrive on scene. Now it's a police body cam, and it says it is 12/18/2022 at 2:05 in the morning. Okay. Keep that in mind for later. So the cops just getting in there, and the
police.
There's no one here with guns.
Okay.
He's hallucinating. He's having alcohol withdrawals. I don't want this problems here. I just moved into this house. Like I don't need this.
Okay.
My landlord lives across the street. He's having drunk hallucinations. He called you guys for no reason.
Do you want us to talk to him?
He's seeing stuff that's not there.
Do you think he needs an ambulance?
Every time I take him to the hospital, all they do is release him. That's all they do. They're here now, ma'am. It's fine.
Is he just drunk or is he
He's
high?
having alcohol withdrawal hallucinations. Okay. He was a severe alcoholic. He hasn't had alcohol in 4 days. He's going through hallucinations from withdrawal.
He's not being violent or anything?
No, he's just seeing stuff that's not.
Okay, so we have a guy who's an alcoholic, hasn't had anything for 4 days, and is now altered mental with hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So she's saying that he's not violent, right? He's, initially he called EMS because he was seeing stuff, right? And they send out PD. So eventually, a couple minutes, or a couple seconds goes by, whatever, and they get into the house and they go back to the back bedroom, right, where he is, and they see him lying on the bed in the room, right? He's just laying there, right? So there's peaceful music playing in the background.
North 28th, 2nd Street, 48.
Sweating.
So
248 North 8th.
So he's able to answer the cops' questions, right? There's 3 cops in the room now with him. That's it. He's able to answer all their questions, right? He's conscious. He's alert to their presence. He can answer all of their questions. He's not being violent. He's laying down. He's listening to calming music, right? And he's just taking this trip. This hallucinogen trip because he hasn't had alcohol in 4 days. Right? Now, one
thing we know about alcoholics and severe alcoholics, like someone withdrawn from heroin, I can give a rat's ass. I'm not.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's 2 things that I care about if you're withdrawing, and alcohol is one of them. Alcohol and benzos. That's the only 2 I care about. Yes, going through heroin withdrawal is miserable. I'm sure it is. Yep. But going through alcohol and benzo withdrawal is medically dangerous. Yeah, that's why you do it in a facility.
Yes.
Yep.
Bingo. So this is
that should have been a red flag right there.
Well, and the fact that the cop's like, well, is he dangerous? Is he violent? It doesn't matter. This man is going to have a seizure and die.
Right. And we've already gotten to that level where
100%. If he's hallucinating, you are beyond that level.
You're exactly. So that's where the basis of this video starts. Okay. He's just trying to get along and, deal with this issue. So let's see. I'm going to fast forward here. Let's see.
Well, she's worried about you, man. She said she's been struggling a little bit.
They've called EMS at this point.
She's been trying to get off the blues a little bit.
Again, cops are just standing there. They're talking to him. He's still,
well, at least they haven't Narcaned him.
right. He's still laying on the bed. He's still talking to him, right? He is literally laying on, like on his, in a like a prone, half prone position, like he's gonna fall asleep. Just laying there, chilling. He's not aggressive. He's not nothing. Now he rolls over supine.
How long you been feeling like this, my man?
I love the music. They even mention it like 4 times.
Would have been funnier if he was listening to "Fuck the Police."
I know, right? All right, let me fast forward until EMS gets here because that's when
Just 20 minutes in.
All right, now he's sitting upright. All right.
Yeah, you're sweating up a storm, my man.
So he's diaphoretic. He's stripping
Gee,
off.
I wonder why.
He's stripping off his sweater.
A mark on your CWA score.
Right.
Yep. He's stripping off his sweater at this point. You looking at him, even across the room from this body camera, you can look and just be like, oh my God, he's hot. He lays back down on the bed.
Maybe just set it down, I guess.
The girlfriend just brought him a drink.
Was it a great drink?
I don't know, it was in a Solo cup. Alright, where the heck are these EMTs that come in? Fast forward. He's still on the bed. Okay. So, right here, he's supine on the bed with his knees bent. He rolls over onto his right side, and then he rolls off the bed. Now he's onto the floor. All right, cops are still just standing there with him. At this point, EMS is about to come in. Okay. EMS has arrived.
Where are you at in the video, Turk?
What was this?
Where are you at in the video?
16 minutes, 7 seconds. All right, cops walk back in. And here comes the other cop. And here comes the female EMT.
This is Earl.
Face.
This is Earl. So,
Haven't been able to get much.
okay, let's just set the scene. Because,
look at her face.
Boom. Thank you. Okay?
Oh my God, she's already out of this.
So she walks in. Now, remember I said it was 2:05 in the morning when cops got there. Now it's 2:18 in the morning when EMS gets there, right? She walks in, no bag, no nothing, no clipboard, no bag, no, any equipment whatsoever. She walks in, hands are in her pockets, her, her face is drawn, and she is got the total, like, go F yourself, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I here face? All right. Continue.
Out of them.
It's day 3.
She takes out her pad. She's just looking at him. Doesn't say
He was
anything.
up on his bed and he just rolled off onto the floor. After he's been slowly stripping off of his clothes.
She starts writing stuff down. Still hasn't said a word to this guy. No
Was she
assessment.
taking a report from the cop?
Yep. No assessment, no nothing.
What was his last name?
Moore. He's 35. Was born in March, but we don't have a exact birthday.
Earl.
What's your birthday, man?
She walks over to him.
Hey, it's your birthday.
Now she's so she's standing above him at this point. He's still laying on the floor. Now he's moaning. All right. She's just looking down at him, completely disgruntled about the entire situation. The other EMT is now standing with his hands in his pockets at the bedroom door. All right. Again, I haven't seen a piece of equipment at all. All right. As we continue.
This is about all we've been able to get.
Earl, sit up.
Attitude changes.
Sit up.
I'm going to start yelling at him.
No, I didn't hear the report the cop was given. Did he let them know that he was withdrawing for 4 days from alcohol?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yes. They said that this is day 3 or 4 of alcohol withdrawal.
That should have been it right there. Boom. This is no longer, go fuck yourself. This is more, hey, we might have to do something here.
Correct. In every sense, in every sense of actual good provided patient care, that's what should have happened, right? Like we said before, red flag goes up. These are medically very sick patients. They're not just like, oh, whatever, there's a waste of my time at 2:00 in the morning. She's treating it as you are a waste of life. And how dare you have called me?
And that's kind of, it's funny because we always, talk shit about junkies and, our usual, town drunks and stuff like that. And, the alcoholics and everything. It's like, why don't they just get their shit straight, and fucking, sober up and, be normal. And, here you have a guy who's actually trying to do that. And like, for me, come in and I hear that, I'm going to treat this guy great because I want him to get the fuck off this shit. So I don't ever have to come back here.
Yeah. Right.
To me, it's mitigating, future fucking issues. Bullshit, So it's,
right.
it's kind of like clearing out the brush so the forest doesn't catch on fire. You know what I mean? So like, to me, this would be, especially, the red flag goes up about the alcoholism, withdrawing for 4 days. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy as best a shot as I can give him because I don't want him to go back on that shit.
And this man already has this preconceived notion because, like the female that was in the house before, was like, oh, they just keep sending him home, and he goes to the hospital, and who knows what happens in those hospital trips, but like he already thinks nobody's gonna help him.
Right.
So to come into that scene with an attitude like he's wasting your time is awful. Like, why do you do this?
Exactly. So let's continue, because if it's not bad now, it gets worse.
I mean, I can take a guess. It's 2:00 in the morning. They're probably, halfway or a little bit more than halfway through their 24-hour shift, or they've already been on for 24 and they're working into a 36. And there's fatigue and fucking grumpiness and everything else that goes along with it. And we want to keep doing this.
But let's just, I mean, there's that, right? But let's just say, what if they started their shift at 6:00, right? Yeah. And they're on the tail, like the last third of their 12-hour shift.
Oh, easy peasy.
It still is unacceptable no matter what time it is.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying you asked for a reason why. I'm giving you a reason.
Well, exactly, right? And you look at these, at least her, there wasn't much involved with the guy, but you look at her and what you'll see next really proves to me the burnout and the lack of empathy and caring for any individual. Like, I could see her treating a chest pain call or an anxiety call the exact same way as this, because it's not easy for her. So you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. Okay,
let's move, my man.
Okay.
Whatever, stupid.
So immediately she goes down, she grabs his arm, and she starts to drag him up to a sitting position, but he's dead weight, so he doesn't. So then she tells him, sit up, stop acting stupid. Right? As she's still trying to pull him upright.
Stop.
Sit up. Sit up now. I am not playing with you tonight. Sit up. What is your birthday?
Because that's important, right? His birthday is very important to this whole thing.
You got to hear that. You got to get that billing form signed.
Right?
What year?
87.
Okay, so we've just established she's yelling at the guy, right? And now she leaves him on the floor, and she starts walking away towards the bedroom door. All right, writing down his birthday, because that is the most important thing that's going on right now. No assessment, no nothing is being done. No vital signs, no bupkis at this point in time.
Earl, do you want to go to the hospital, ma'am? We need to get up.
You're gonna have to walk, because we ain't carrying you.
So let's get up on your feet.
So the man who can't physically stand or walk is gonna walk out of the house.
I am seriously not in the mood for this dumb shit.
You can walk. Come on.
Seriously not
Let's
in the
stand
mood
up.
for this. All right.
You can't even sit up.
Seriously not in the mood for this dumb shit. Right. Like, bravo. Provider of the year right there. Right? So, let's see. I forget if she says anything else.
I'm going to let you, Earl. I know you can do it. I've seen you do it.
I swear.
So now the cops are helping him up.
Use your legs.
At this point. She standing there.
Come on, Earl. We'll get you some help, bud. Just take the coat.
All right, he's standing up.
I got your coat. Come on. Some wet bullets.
Now he's leaning over the bed again.
Only way we're going to get you is if we walk through the house.
She's still writing on her doodle pad.
You're not dead weight. Maybe we are.
All right, he just fell back to the ground. Right? So at this point, I'm going to fast forward again, because she starts yelling at him, get up, you know, you're dumb, blah, 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 right?
What are you fast forwarding to?
EMS does not carry him outside. The 3 police officers get him from the back bedroom through the apartment to the front of the house. All right? It's a fairly, significant struggle to get him out there, but they finally do. Okay? I am fast forwarding to 21:55. Okay?
We're doing it.
Now they're at the front door.
Right there.
They go out the front door. Homie, second EMT, is standing outside waiting by the stretcher. Because, they couldn't just bring in the damn stair chair.
Right, like we don't have equipment made for this.
Right, exactly. Right? He's half falling down the stairs. All right?
Now get up on there, man.
All right, so this is the part that actually is important, how they position him on the stretcher. So right now, the stretcher is, in a horizontal position across the little walkway, right? Just like we would. We put it, perpendicular to the hall or to the walkway. He's now kneeling with his hands up on the stretcher where your butt goes. Okay? He's kneeling on the ground. All right? Can't get up.
Come on, get up on there, old bud.
All right?
They can't get you there if you don't get on the cot.
Head's on the cot, but his arms are still like, he's going to fall asleep on it like that.
Get up there.
All right, we're spinning him around.
The beautiful EMT is just yelling at him from the stairs.
Stand up. Stand up.
The other EMT's got his arm.
All right, Earl, this
And
is
the
getting a little
cops
silly, man.
Grab him, flop him over. So now he is on the stretcher. All right. They roll him onto his right side. That's the first part that gets onto the stretcher, is his right hip, right? And then he and they all roll together, and now he's prone. All right.
There we go.
The other EMT, the male EMT, then takes his chest by his shoulders and slams him into the head of the... Right. Like, literally, like, instead of like, hey, dude, we need to get you better positioned, he just takes his shoulders and, like, slams them into the mattress. Like, you can hear the slam. Let's see.
Spin him around. Put him on.
It's kind of like it's ridiculous how loud this slam was in the camera.
All right, Earl, this is getting a little silly, man.
So here he goes onto his right side. Instead of just leaving him there, they let him roll over. Here's the slam.
There we go.
Like, it's an aggressive slam. And now you watch him burrito roll him in the sheet. The right arm goes above the head. The left arm is at the, the left arm goes above the head. The right arm is by his side. And now they're strapping him down across his butt and back with the stretcher straps.
All right, see, this is where it gets a little.
Watch him tighten those.
Yeah, so he's working on the feet right now, getting those secured. And he is pulling those things. Here he goes again. Okay, so I don't know if, again, I would like this would be great on video, but you know when you have those like ratchet straps that are tensioned, they're not the ones that ratchet, and to get it really tight, you like pull down on it and you put like your whole weight into it. That's what this EMT just does on video. He takes his whole weight, grabs the stretcher, and then bends down to the ground with it.
See, I don't want to say I wouldn't have had a problem with this because I don't want anyone transported laying prone, but the fact that he has an arm free, if they would have just, not done something like that and just kind of just loosely put the straps on and took it in, I think they should have, probably get a little talking to, maybe, hey, don't fucking do something like that again, you freaking idiot. But yeah, no, you don't do that.
Yeah.
What you've just done is restrained him. He wasn't, if you would have put him on loose, I would have said he's not restrained. He's got an arm free.
Yep.
He could easily get the other one out. He could roll over. He could do whatever he wants. He's free to move around the cot if you put them on loose. Which, of course, then they're not really fucking doing anything, but we all know how that works. And like I said, I wouldn't have been okay with the whole, lay on your stomach thing, but you know what?
But
it wouldn't have been a restrained patient at that point in my mind.
Right.
The fact that he cinched that down so damn tight, you just restrained your patient. That's why you were doing it.
Yes. But here's the other thing that I don't get, right? And this is, I think, something to be, talked about in this before I go to the comment section, because that of it itself is hilarious. But what was the rationale behind the restraining?
Restraint.
But he's non-violent. He's non-aggressive. He's barely verbal.
He's non-compliant.
It was a punishment, exactly.
And he's right, bingo. He's non-compliant, and he's making them stay out from the station at 3:00 in the morning when they're trying to get some sleep.
But he can't walk on his own.
Right.
So they're creating more work for him. It's a punishment for him.
Right. Bingo. That's exactly what it is.
But that's it. Like, how is that a rationale of good provider judgment?
It's not.
It's not at all.
You're trying to rationalize something that isn't rational.
Exactly. Like it makes no sense to me. How, like I said, there's certain cases that, I want to see like people get the book thrown at them. And I think, this should be one of them, it's clear as day.
I was saying, if you're a poor provider because you don't understand shit, your skills suck, that kind of stuff, that's one thing. But when you do stuff like this, I mean, that's beyond just being a poor provider. I mean, that's just being an asshole. Just being
a poor human.
Yeah, you're not even a fucking human being. You're a piece of shit.
Right.
But that's like, when you're choosing to be a bad human, you have no business in this. I understand poor providers because you don't know what you don't know. You don't want to learn. You think you know everything. That's a whole different human than this. To treat another human being, regardless of what their problem is, this is not what we're about. This is not what we do.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's not what being a good person's about.
Right.
I mean, we all joke around, I'm a horrible person. I hate people, blah, 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 and all that shit. But at the end of the day, everybody I know, including you guys, I mean, I know for a fact that once all the fucking, the talking smack shit, is out of the freaking picture, I mean, it's you guys are great people at heart. I mean, it's just, and I would say that about damn near anybody I've worked with is, at the end of the day, that they're no matter how much smack they talk, I mean, they're good people. They're not going to do something like that.
Yeah.
We get on scene, game face changes, and you go to work.
Exactly. You can bitch all you want on the way to the scene.
Right.
Fuck this call. I don't want to do this.
Right.
This is ridiculous. I don't care. The second you walk out of that ambulance, how can I help?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I literally have a great example of it on video, me and Douglas.
I know. I've seen it.
That's exactly right. Fuck that bitch with her fucking tooth and blah, blah, blah. Are you fucking kidding me? Tooth fucking pain. And then all of a sudden we get there and we're like, hey, man, how you doing? How can we help you? What did you call us here? It's just so funny. Yeah.
But that's it. Like, that's the nature of our job, and I understand we've all been there where it's frustrating or whatever. But, you guys alluded to it in the beginning. This is a legit medical emergency. This is not something to be, fooled around with. Yeah. This isn't just another drunk on the street. This is a legit crisis for this gentleman medically. Like, I would put this in the exact same boat as, your epileptics, your chest pains, your bad diff breathers. They're just as bad. Are you going to treat, again, we all look at it from the outside Monday morning quarterbacking it, but would these two have treated grandma with chest pain the exact same way if they thought it was anxiety? It's scary to think that people out there operate like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what their system is, but if there was any, I'm assuming this is a BLS crew.
That I don't know.
Because I don't know, it just says 2 EMTs. We know that the public thinks anybody that gets out of an ambulance is an EMT, so I have no idea what their level of care is. But,
me neither.
But let's just say, I mean, if this was a BLS crew and you can't look down the street and see the fucking hospital, I would expect this crew to get on the freaking radio and request a paramedic.
Yeah,
that's the type of call this is. This is an ALS call. This is not something that you're going to transport and ground pound BLS,
right?
Because this could go south real fast, especially at 5 a.m. or 2 a.m. He's already been 4 days without his juice.
Right. I'm waiting
for
a
seizure. And he's now hallucinating.
Right.
I'm
just waiting for the seizure to happen.
Bingo. It's literally what you're waiting for. So this, in fact, you know what? Even with him acting like this might even be one where, hey, you know what? I'm going to get on a phone, call a doc, tell him, paint the picture for him and say, can I give him a little bit of Versed and let's just make him go nappy nap.
Yeah.
And just calm the fuck down before this turns into something bad.
Yeah.
But it's weird because what do they treat alcohol withdrawal with? Benzos.
Benzos, right.
And 100% could get that, and that needs to be a thought process. And I can't tell you how many patients like this I get with a BLS crew that are turning it over to me in the hospital, and they're like, well, XYZ agency was there and they turned it over. Why are you guys okay with this? They're just a drunk. They are sweating profusely, they're tremulous, and they're hallucinating. What about that is to me, you telling me that they're drunk? They are withdrawing. That is the difference.
But I think, we don't, at least at the BLS education level, we don't
teach it enough.
We don't talk about alcohol withdrawal with as much seriousness and fervor as we should.
Well, 100%.
No, we don't.
100%.
It's not in the curriculum. It is in the curriculum, but it's a paragraph in the curriculum.
Right.
So there's one slide on
it. EMT class. Check a blood sugar. Make sure that it's not hypoglycemia and it's actual intoxication. That's what they teach. They don't teach you about withdrawal.
Right.
Right.
Right. So
on the other hand, they don't teach you that somebody who is a raging alcoholic can be hypoglycemic. They go or they don't teach them that they can be hypoglycemic. A lot of them, because I can't tell how many EMTs I've talked to about this. In fact, we do the freaking scenario.
Yep.
Where the dude's got a raging freaking blood sugar of 20 or 30, and they're like, oh, I had no idea that somebody who's been drinking alcohol all day could have a low blood sugar. I think it would be high.
Right.
And that's why we do it.
Yep. I did, it was funny. I did that scenario by myself. It just wasn't the same.
I know. I know. You got to have me sitting there. You should just, you know what? Get an iPad and just pop me up on the chair. There you go. Just I'm sitting there and I'll just do my role.
So I think what I'm going to do is, I've planned it out. I'm going to get not like a medical dummy, but maybe like a blow up doll or something.
Just tape an iPad to the face.
Tape you to the face.
That's great.
And this is gonna be Gerard, and he's gonna help us out with lab, and it's gonna be great.
That'd be perfect, dude.
And it's gonna be great because there's nothing like the atmosphere of, oh yeah, homie went down to the store, got some Four Locos, whatever. Shit,
man, you got this. I'm about to bounce. I'm out of here.
It's very hard to stay in character during that one. But it teaches them a valuable lesson, because then I always have the conversation afterwards about how alcohol doesn't metabolize, or alcohol metabolizes in the liver, and the liver no longer releases glucose out of it, because all it's doing is filtering and going through the liquor. So your blood sugar drops. It initially spikes and then it slowly comes down, and you could have unresponsive people that were just on a binge or whatever, and it's crazy to think that people don't know that.
But that's just it. In EMT, that goes back to what we were saying, going through BLS, basic EMT, you're not taught that. You get your paragraph that says, drunks are bad, okay, and move on.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you get.
Check a blood sugar.
Check a blood
sugar.
Right. And you never know why.
Yeah. What are we looking for? I don't know. Just take it.
Right. Just boom, it's there. So yeah, I agree with you guys. Looking at this video, looking at this guy, there is no way that I would not have taken this guy in ALS.
This is ALS, dude.
100%. Like, even if he was alert and oriented, he's not acting normally. Even if I'm going to sit there and just monitor him, that's ALS enough.
I mean, even as a BLS provider, you walk in and you're like, well, okay, this guy's awake, but he doesn't really pass my look test. He can't physically sit up.
Right. There's so many red flags in this. And again, if you haven't watched the video, please go and watch the video. You can find it linked on the GEMS Facebook page. And it's unreal watching it. Like, talking about it afterwards is one thing, but like I said to you guys, I have never felt horrible watching a video before until I watched this one, because it showed everything that we as a profession are trying to negotiate our way out of by saying, hey, we're shitty providers. Hey, we're this. Hey, we're that. And this just showed the world again that we suck at everything.
Well, and so, yeah, the attitude problem pissed me off. I mean, you don't talk to somebody like that. You don't treat somebody like that, especially when you realize that, they're not being an asshole to you. You're not giving back what you're getting. You're actually just giving.
Right.
And this poor guy, he's having a bad day. You have a family member who actually knows this person, lives with this person, telling you he's hallucinating and not acting. He's talking to people that aren't there.
Right.
Boom, red flag, big problem. So the initial, I don't want to say initial assessment because there was no assessment, but that initial phase of patient contact, I've got an issue with the taking him out of the house using police to carry him or what. I'm actually okay with that. If it means we're getting him out quicker than us having to try and lop him onto a stair chair and have him fall over and no, fuck that. If I got 3 fucking cops there or 3 fire, hey man, pick him up and let's get him the fuck out.
I mean, that shouldn't have been an issue though, because when she went and tried to lift him up, my first response would have been go get a reuse and we're going to take him out.
Bingo.
That's it.
We're carrying him out.
There's no wrestling him out. How many times did they have to put him down? Like, who knows what kind of injuries he could have gotten from just that?
Right. He cannot hold himself up. He needs to be carried out.
Right. And that's it. Like, forget the chair. He was laying on the ground. Just roll him supine onto a Reeves. Boom. You've
put him on a blanket. I don't care.
You've got manpower. It's not like you're going to have to freaking actually exert some energy.
And
you know what I mean?
And to even top that off, you look at the house. There, you went in the front door, you made an immediate right turn. It's a giant living room, so there's no walls or anything.
Right.
And they walked straight back into a room.
Right. There's no hoarder stuff.
There was no hoarders. There was no turns. There was no nothing. You could have gotten the stretcher in there probably.
Yep.
Again, no excuse. So I think our opinions are reflected in a lot of these comments, which I want to go through a few because they really drive the point home. So this guy says the fact that she's not wearing gloves tells the rest of the story. The cops were great.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what call she thought she was responding to with no gloves at all and no gear. Can't treat people with a notepad. Then everything after that was very sad and maddening, but not a surprise.
And that's just, I mean, it is funny, and that person is correct. You know, when you see somebody walk in on a call, on any call, and they don't have gloves on, I don't care if you carried all your bags and shit. If you don't have gloves on, it means you're not ready to treat a patient. You're not ready to freaking do anything. You're not even ready to take vitals. So that means, that tells me you're not preparing to do any of this stuff.
Yep.
So your mind is somewhere else, or you're already thinking about, you know,
how to get out of it.
Preconceived notion of how this call is going to go.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So this one I think is my favorite. Well, she's delightful. That's some of the worst patient care I've ever seen.
Right.
This
you know what? He would have had a better time if they got the guy with the milk.
Oh, totally.
He would have treated that guy better because that guy actually cared.
That guy did actually care.
He actually, for a total stranger, white boy, overdosing in a car, and that dude stayed with him the whole fucking time.
Yep.
And he gave a shit.
Drowned his ass
in milk, but he gave a shit. This bitch didn't give a flying fuck about this guy.
I know.
You know, that's sad.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, one more time, open your mouth, I give you the milk. Yeah.
I think, you know what? I have enough soundboard buttons.
We got to get that one in there.
I think, man, give me the milk is going to be
open your mouth, I give you the milk. Yeah.
Even if we use it once a year, it'll be worth it.
Right, it's worth it. But seriously, I mean, you know, if you really wanted a stark contrast, you have, you know, one video of layperson, you know, who had absolutely no duty to act whatsoever, sitting there and actually giving a shit. And here's somebody with a duty to act, being paid to be there. I mean, what do you think you're being paid for? I mean, this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And you just couldn't give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big fucking difference.
So this one says, wow, he yanked the top strap really, really tight. Is there a GoFundMe where I can donate a stair chair, a glucometer, and a protocol book to this company?
Nice. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't have it. Wouldn't surprise me. If they came back and said, we didn't have any of that stuff, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it.
I was coming to this video to be like, quote, do these two really deserve murder charges? Then I saw the look on her face when she came in the room and went, guilty, slamming gavel.
So I'm going to let us get to the that shit.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I'm going to let us get to the end, then we'll talk about that shit.
Yeah. Let's see. Imagine how he was treated on the way to the hospital. Miss Personality is in for a reality check.
Oh yeah, who teched it? Did we see who got in the back?
So that's the one thing that I don't know. I don't know whether she teched it, he teched it. I don't know what happened on the way to the ER. I don't know when he coded. I don't know any of that because it's not released.
This is weird. It's like in the beginning, I was kind of not necessarily feeling for him, but I was like, I've been there. You got that fucking see you next Tuesday as a partner who's just running her mouth on a call, and you're just standing there like, oh, Jesus Christ, I got to be lumped in with her. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, he started doing, you know, playing his role, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Now you're a fucking asshole too.
Right.
For a minute, he almost had my sympathy. I was like, oh man, I've been there, man. I feel you. You know.
Let's see. Hallucinating patient. Could hypoxia be the reason? Did they put a pulse ox on the patient to find out? Heart monitor, CO2 monitor. We may never know.
Just like how many licks it takes to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop.
Let's see. Maybe she was having a rough day.
Oh, we lost Emily. Oh,
sorry.
No, she's back.
Somebody's trying to call me.
It's a vicious game of solitaire there.
Yep. This is all I do all day.
Yeah. It's just... That's interesting. This one's in... I haven't read this one yet. So, oh, man. The next one's funny. This poor man, he needed a tube by the time they forced him to walk to the stretcher and then prone.
What?
I just don't get it. Zero regard for the patient. I disagree with the fact that he would need a tube,
dude.
Yeah,
nah.
I think that's a little excessive. But yeah.
I'm just going on record right now, and I'm going to say, nah.
Yeah. She's just so pissed that she had to stop smoking and he had to stop eating in order to run the call.
Nice. You know it too.
Oh, totally.
She definitely has that look about her, like, she's just standing outside going, yes, I'm going to smoke another cigarette.
So this is something that I think we have to touch base on before the end here. And this comment kind of sounds, gives the whole idea. Burnout is real. Overworked is real. Definitely doesn't look good for the two of them. Can't say bad patient care because seems that there was no patient care done. Now, granted, there was significantly bad patient care.
Now, do we know how long they remained on scene after they went into the ambulance, or did they just close the back doors and take off?
That's the thing. None of those types of things have been come out yet.
So this is where I am all for us wearing body cameras.
Agreed.
Because if they got out of the camera sight and all of a sudden they turned into like fucking Johnny and Roy in the back of that thing,
yeah,
it would have been captured on camera, and it would have absolved them from a lot of this shit.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't have made it made it okay, but definitely there wouldn't have been no question as to them actually eventually trying to help the guy.
Right.
But never know.
I'm with you. I think there should be body cameras in EMS. 100%. Yep.
It's okay for the police. It's okay for us.
Right. And there's a lot of people and providers and agencies that will be like, no, we can't have it. Well, what are you trying to hide?
Well, it's going to cost us money.
Oh, okay. Well, screw the money. Say there's
no. Oh no, we can't screw the money. Our call volume.
God forbid, right?
Yeah.
But
we don't have the call volume for it.
But realistically, like, say, money I know is an actual factor, because they're going to be like, okay, well, do I put a truck on the road or do I pay for body cameras? Right?
Pay for body cameras.
You and me would go that route, but agencies won't because they're stupid. But my question to it is, even the agencies that can afford it are the ones that are also saying, hell no, we won't go. What are you trying to hide? Right? Are your providers so shitty that now there's medical evidence that you suck and that you freak out, you don't know what you're doing, and you off people?
Hey, you know what? It's not like anyone's just going to like get back to the station and pull the tape and watch it. It's not like that. It's there as a record. It's almost like a voice recorder or a freaking flight recorder in an airplane. Yeah, it's only there in case something fucking happens.
But at the same
point, so that you can go back and pull the tape.
But at the same point, from an educational standpoint, I think they should be used in internal QI. Here's a call that I want reviewed, right? I can read the chart. That's great. But I can also then watch the body cam footage from start to finish on what exactly happened, right? How did the patient actually look? How did they respond? How did the provider deal with the issues? All that would be shown. I think for internal education purposes, it would be brilliant, because then we can weed out the ones that lie in their chart but killed their fucking patient.
Oh yeah, no. I'm all for that. I mean, anytime you have a call that would end in, a bad outcome or something like that, I would have it, where that videotape would be pulled.
Right.
And reviewed.
My patient was breathing, but then, I'm sorry, 20 minutes later, they're in cardiac arrest. And what did you do in that 20 minutes?
I saw what you did there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, what did you do there?
That would have been nice.
I want to know. As an administrator, as an educator, I want to know what happens in those 20 minutes or in those 3 minutes. Or, hey, your airway was really shitty. Why was it shitty? What happened, up to the lead of this? Did you put them at 30 degrees head elevated? Did you, give a good position? Did you bag up to 93%? Did you do, passive oxygenation? Did you use a bougie? Did you do all the things that you were supposed to do before you actually did the intubation? Because it's easy to say, oh, hey, yeah, I tried 3 times and it didn't work. And you go back and you look at the camera and you're like, oh, okay, this airway doesn't really look all that bad. Like, what was it? What happened,
even for med errors and stuff like that. With the way the body camera sits, where do we all draw up stuff from? You could literally have a great view at the vial and the syringe.
Yep.
So someone makes a med error. Hey, let's see where you went wrong.
Right.
Let's pull it and take a look.
And
there you go.
You can
but then they have to hold people accountable.
Ah,
and more bodies in a seat.
There you go. We can't do that.
God forbid.
If we don't have any proof, then we can fire who we want and keep the people we want.
Bingo. There we go. That's how it works. I forgot.
Yeah, but it's funny. There's changes going on around locally. And, I said my piece about it. And, of course, because I was against the change, because I think it's radically a stupid idea, I immediately got, oh, well, this is going to, fix the culture and blah, 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 blah. And you should be, on board fixing the culture.
I can only imagine what it is.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, first off, who talks about EMS culture more than we do?
Right.
Who does CMEs on EMS culture more than I do? Right? So that person should never have stepped into my element telling me to fix the EMS culture.
You're out of your element, Donnie.
Right. Like, get back in your box. Right. All right? But this is the same kind of thing. This is something that will actually fix the EMS culture. But agencies refuse to do it because the culture is the way they want it. They want to be able to use and abuse all of the providers. They don't give a rat's behind about patients, and they put up the facade that says, hey, we're phenomenal. We're great. We're the greatest agency ever.
Oh, we're going to put our Facebook up.
Yeah. We get, newspaper articles, and we go to other places, and we go to, we go here, there, and everywhere, and look how great we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you actually do an audit, and you find out that they suck. Just like everybody else.
Which brings me to something I was thinking about at the very beginning, talking about this and watching the video and everything. I'm like, what's the culture like at this place? Because I can guarantee you, if it's a use and abuse, system, which most of them are, this is the result. This is the product.
Yes.
Of what you manufacture. All right.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You know what I was thinking about during this whole thing? And one of the things that I thought was so ironic reading all the comments and people posting about this is how different their opinion varied from this situation to the last EMS news article that we had. When that Miami-Dade firemendic beat the shit out of a patient strapped to a stretcher, tell me that that's not a precursor to this.
Yeah.
Bingo.
But everybody was okay with that man beating the shit out of him.
Yep. Oh, yeah, hit him again.
Yeah, he deserved it. This is a public service announcement, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But this, now everyone's like, this is deplorable. This isn't what we do. Literally 3 months?
Yeah.
How can you not say that these things are like, you can't tell me that fire medic, if he didn't get caught or didn't get reprimanded or whatever, would not do exactly this. Yeah, right. But it was a news article, so now he's just publicly humiliated. Even though we condemned, like, we were okay with that as a profession. We're like, good for you. I would have done the same thing.
I was totally say that. I know, but I was totally shocked. Like, after that came out, the dude freaking comes out, and once they were like, we're not going to press any charge, he's like, yeah, fuck that motherfucker. I guess he fucked around and found out. I'm like, damn.
It's the same people that are saying, good for you. I would have done
right.
We don't deserve to get treated like that, are now posting on this, being like, they deserve the death penalty, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, but you don't see how these two things are related.
No, it's exactly related. They're directly related. Yeah. No, that's it. That's literally it. I mean, you could, from the moment she walked in that door,
she was done.
She was done when the call came out.
Yep.
100%.
100%. Yeah, it's a sad state. It really is.
Because how it came out. EDP, requested by PD at 2:05 in the morning.
Yep.
Why the fuck can't they transport themselves? What the fuck? There was a lot of what the fucks on the way to the ambulance.
Yep. And in it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, again.
I've done them. What the fuck are these people calling us for at this time? God damn.
We all have.
But
it's very... I think you guys really hit the nail when you say it's a byproduct of what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the first time that I've heard you state it like that. Is the agencies that create this culture and manipulate their providers and their patients to being used to this culture. This is your creation.
Yeah. This was just one toke over the line. But,
exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, most of the time it's par for the course. I guarantee you this is how she is on most of her calls.
Right.
Especially the ones that are late at night.
Yep.
This just happened to be one where, you know what? You rolled the dice and Snake Eyes came up and you got fucked. Oh, and by the way, they had to pull tapes to fucking, for a criminal investigation, and there you are in all your glory being a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
But now that it's out in the public, that agency's like, nope, we're not her.
Oh yeah, no.
We didn't know this was happening. She was a perfect employee.
Yep. She's out on a limb all by herself.
But I'll tell you,
see ya.
I hate when agencies do that. They're like, "Yep, we never knew the bullshit
never knew.
You did. You knew
bullshit.
Exactly.
Somebody doesn't act like that, and you don't know.
Exactly.
Yep. As he's getting into the bus and putting it into drive.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, we had no idea.
Exactly. But I bet you that you go back, and I'm sure you talk to all of her, all of her partners, and they're like, yeah, XYZ is a bitch and this, that, the other thing, and she's miserable, and we've had to talk her down from beating up patients or whatever, and the agency's like, yeah, well, we just need someone in a truck, so it's okay. This
is not reflective of the level of care that we provide here at fucking Alamo Ambulance here.
Right. Yep.
They're not in business anymore, right?
No.
Yeah, fuck them.
At least in this state, they're not. I don't know if there's another one.
We don't treat patients like that here at TransCare.
Yeah, I felt like this one was so Emily, you bring up the last one. The last one was deplorable. And we had a good discussion about that. This one, I think, takes the cake even a little bit more.
Well, and the sad thing was,
I agree.
Oh, this is 10 times worse. But I mean, like, I was just like the last one. Like, I was seriously hoping that, okay, this was just a fit of rage. Just bottled up. It finally came out. One moment. Now here's something we could learn from. Maybe he could go and teach her. Oh no, this dude freaking come right out. He's like, man, fuck that motherfucker. I hope he fucking learned. This is a lesson. I'm like,
yeah,
shit. this is not where I thought that was going to go.
Nope.
All right.
They had a golden opportunity to make a bad situation and turn it into something good. Education, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And they just did it because they didn't hold him responsible, and he fucking ran with that.
Maybe it played into this. Maybe, they saw, hey, that motherfucker beat the living shit out of that motherfucker, and he just said, fuck around and find out. Okay, well, then, yeah, hell yeah, that's the way it is, man. Fuck that shit.
Right. Now, I'm curious, guys, and then we'll wrap up here. But other than, like, body cameras or something like that, what do agencies take away from this? Like, what should be done with this?
They're not going to do a fucking thing.
Well, I think that you have to take the situation and look back further because, like, she didn't start in her career like this. Right. So I think you need to take, like, burnout real. You need to take these colleague complaints real. Like, when people died, there was, like, they were a great human. When this woman got in trouble, nobody was saying, like, man, she was the best partner.
Right. I didn't see this coming.
Yeah. Right. They didn't see this coming. They knew it was coming. You have to hold your providers responsible, but you also have to give them resources. When somebody comes to you and they're like, I'm over this, you need to give them time off to recharge and, like, reconnect. You can't just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, especially these high volume agencies. Like, oh, we're going to put you on a 36 where you can do 40 calls. That's going to cause burnout. We already know that. Like, you have to give them time to reconnect, recharge, give them resources. Like, but they just want a body in the seat because that is going to cost money.
And once that cog breaks, they pull that one out and they put the next cog in.
Right.
Exactly.
They got a big old box of cogs waiting to go. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Why not?
Right. I think it all comes down to agency management. You know, it really, really does.
If there was a tone set by the person running the show there, see, and this is the problem, that whoever runs the show there, ain't no goddamn thing gonna happen to them.
Nope.
They're still gonna have their job.
Yep.
They set the tone, and the people, if the people underneath them know that kind of shit is not acceptable, and that you will fucking lose your job, yeah, they wouldn't act that way. If good behavior was rewarded and bad behavior was punished, you wouldn't have shit like this happen.
Right.
But instead, it's literally the other way around. You could have providers that get, 20, 30 fucking, fan mail letters from the fucking community for the people that they serve. And thank you for saving this one. Thank you for that one. Bringing cookies, all this shit like that. And they'll shit can that person in a heartbeat because maybe they're not their buddy.
Right.
But their buddy gets to stay even though he's going out and killed people.
Yep.
It doesn't give a fuck and just writes shitty charts and who cares and whatever. Carries himself like a fucking, slob. So yeah.
Stop telling my life story.
Yeah, I know, right? I wonder where I got that information from.
So I want to end on a note from the guy who did the punching in Miami. Okay.
Well, one second before we end, I did want to say one thing.
Okay.
I don't agree with the charges. I don't.
Oh, okay.
No, that does not. Nothing there tells me that they set out to murder this individual.
I agree. I don't think it's premeditated.
Nobody sat there and said, "You know what? I'm going to pull this motherfucking thing, and I'm going to squeeze the life out of your fucking ass." Nobody said that. Nobody did that.
I agree with you.
Yeah, this was not a premeditated murder. This was negligent homicide. They were negligent in their duties, and it resulted in the death of a human being.
Does it?
Fucking definition of it.
Yeah. Does it? Does it meet manslaughter?
No, negligent homicide. They're in the. What would you call their actions? Gross negligence, right?
No.
If nobody died and this video came out and it was on TV, what would you say?
No, I
gross negligence.
Right. I 100% agree.
So therefore,
I guess I don't know what the criteria would be to make it manslaughter.
So I'm looking up the
is it premeditation?
No, the definition of manslaughter is the crime of killing a human being without malice, aforethought, or otherwise in circumstances not accounting or amounting to murder.
So it would almost be that, except the fact that this was. Like, I don't know, to me, like, there was no commission of a crime here. Like they weren't, like, robbing a place or, having a bar brawl or any of that shit.
Right.
But
the unlawful...
It was their negligence in their duty, and the negligence in their job that caused this death.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Let's see. Manslaughter is an unlawful killing that doesn't involve malice, expressed or implied. Intent to seriously harm or kill, or an extreme reckless disregard for life.
You could argue it.
I mean, yeah, I think you're onto something. I don't think... I agree. There's no premeditation that you can prove unless there's something else that we don't know.
Right.
That could be, but yeah, I think negligent homicide or manslaughter is more
that's fitting.
Yeah.
Unless there's something that we just don't know.
Yeah.
Or this DA has, something to prove and is like,
well, they're getting on national stage now. So.
Right. They're going to be a politician
shame on you,
in
though,
2 years.
because you could lose the case on that. So, you're going to lose everything by going too hard.
Right.
And then there's the whole, overcharge and then plea it down to what you really want.
Yes.
Right. Who knows a lawyer? Let's get them on here to talk to him.
Yeah. They did 6 months of pre-law.
Hey.
Because I had it in my head one day that, maybe I'd be a lawyer and that shit. About 6 months of that stuff. And then I was like, you know what? Here I am, 30-something years later. I'm like, fuck, I should have fucking went to fucking law school.
You do love to argue stuff.
I live to argue.
I know. I know.
I would have been the quintessential Gambini. I would have been fucking...
totally would have.
I would have been my cousin Vinny.
Yep. Utes and all. So bring up the Miami firefighter, because I want to bring this up really quick, right? So a news article that was published on the 1st of January this year. Former Miami firefighter who punched a handcuffed man on a stretcher who spit at him is defending his actions, telling a Miami television station he was a victim in the incident. Lieutenant Robert Webster took an early retirement after the incident. So now we know what happened to him. He just bounced.
You got that golden parachute.
Yep. So it goes on to say that Webster...
Must be nice to have a union.
I know, right? Webster told the NBC news station, quote, "A patient is a patient until the rules change. That patient became an assailant and I became a victim," end quote.
So it's
he's
kind of
still
so hold on. This is a what's good for the goose is good for the gander type of thing. And I hate to say it, but because we've become such a slack society and everything fucking, oh my God, you spit on somebody and they charge somebody with assault. Oh, that's assault.
Right.
Is it really? It's spit.
Right.
It's just spit.
So
it's not, you didn't fucking hurt the motherfucker. It's just, oh, but you violated their fucking safe space. And now they're fucking, they were traumatized by the spit. So it's assault. Okay. So then by your own fucking rules of calling spitting on somebody an assault, you literally just proved this guy's case right. Because the moment that dude spit on him, he assaulted him and he was right to eliminate the threat.
So in here...
I should have went to fucking law school. God damn! What the fuck was I thinking?
So one of the things...
I'd have the city paying this motherfucker money.
Right? So one of the things that I think is a big misconception, Mr. Law School grad over here, is the difference between assault and battery. So battery is what this guy is actually charged with for the spitting. So assault is the idea that you're going to, whack somebody. The actual whacking is battery. So
remember, be careful with the whacking word, because I have a completely different understanding of that.
I know. I keep saying that. So I'm sorry.
For Italians, it's completely different.
So, if I said, Gerard, I'm going to punch you in the face, and, that's a threat, that would be assault. Whereas if I actually punch you in the face, that is battery. So
But battery also results in an injury.
Right. So
which is where a lot of people get off on that. bring into, like, when we were talking in that episode about, like, how healthcare workers are like, we don't come to work to get charged, but we don't ever charge anybody. A lot of people will get an assault charge, but not a battery charge because there's no physical damage.
Right.
Gotcha.
But this guy that did the spitting is getting charged with battery. That's the last thing. So it says Cruz has been charged with battery for spitting at Webster. But yet Webster's not getting charged with anything for beating the shit out of a unarmed human being.
So
restrained human being.
Right.
Well, and this is where I'm going with this is, like I said, as we as a society have opened that up and called it battery, spitting on somebody's battery or assault, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, you just got spit on. You wipe that shit off and you keep on trucking. But if you want to call it that, well, then you have to live by the sword,
right,
and then die by the sword.
Yep. It's a two-way street.
Yeah, I mean, now, so technically, the moment that spit reached his freaking safe space, he became a victim. That dude became the assailant.
Right. I can.
But even spitting, that's assault. That's not battery.
Well, my point, no matter what you want to call it, fucking.
No, but
A or B, whatever,
The difference is, like, spitting is battery. Punching a man in the face is assault. I'm sorry.
So
strike that,
is assault. Punching a man in the face is battery.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
But either way.
So here's what I've learned from this.
Either way, you've had a crime committed against you. Therefore, hey, time to drop the B.
Yeah. So here's what I've learned in the last 2 news episodes, since they're both lawyer-esque, is I need to find a lawyer to talk to and bring on the show.
We do.
For real.
So that we can ask these very important lawyer-ese questions to them. I'll work on it.
Find a park bench. A park bench lawyer.
There you go.
They'll do anything for money.
Well, guys.
Better call Saul.
Better call Saul, right? So I'm going to wrap it up here. If there's anything else that you guys want to say, I think we've beat the dead horse. We've batteried the dead horse. Pretty good. So till next time, guys, thank you again. And just stay tuned. Hopefully Kelsey will be back for the next episode, and she can give you the gargantuan news. I was just going to say gargantuan. I was just going to make up another new word. Yeah, it is what it is. But till next time, guys, stay safe.
Negligent donuts.
What?
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you'd like more information on the podcast or to send us a call to review, visit medicmaterials.com/podcast. To learn more information, like us on Facebook at Medic Materials EDU, or watch our weekly instructional videos on the Medic Materials YouTube channel.